Hello. Oh, hello there. Now, let's talk about the new developments with what's going on. And it's quite interesting and it's kind of suspicious. A lot of us have crucified Jon Jones when he tested positive for steroids. And it was like, oh my God, what has happened? How could you do this? And because of his past, you know, drug violations and everything else, no one was going to give him the benefit of the doubt this time. But he swore that he was innocent and he was being sabotaged and something wrong has happened to him and he was wrong. And he thought it was very suspicious because he said there's no way this could have happened. Well, USADA's test came back the night of the UFC 2014 bout and he passed. So that's very suspicious that he would pass the USADA blood test. But what did he fail? The basic urine test on the fight night? So the blood did not detect that he would have steroids in his system? That's mighty suspicious. A matter of fact, he passed every test that is unannounced and administered by USADA. And that is the United States Anti-Drug Administration. Now, after his match with Daniel Cormier in 2014, the negative test was administered just one day after Jones's infamous July 28 urine screen, which popped up for positive for an antibiotic steroid called Turnabol, so Turinabol, whatever it was. But let's bring to the attention that the blood screenings did not test for Turnabol. So, in addition, Jones passed four. No, he did a whole lot of pair of out of competition drug screenings, and for something that's weird, and that's the former blood and urine tests and all this stuff, and the latter was just another urine test. So after his third round knockout, he was stripped. Well, he hasn't been stripped yet, but everybody's assuming that he would be stripped after serving 1 year suspensions and all this stuff. This suspension could cost him the rest of his career. We all know that. So now we got to look at the tests that he passed and the test that he failed, because he's facing a 4 year suspension, and I don't know if he's in a position for a 4 year suspension and be able to come back. So now we got to look at the tests he passed and the tests he failed. It's a 3 week window of the month of the fight. Jon Jones has passed 7 unannounced tests. 7. And the one he's going to fail is the one that's announced. That's very weird. And that is true. That is very weird. If you know when you're going to be tested and you go in to take that test and you fail that test, that's kind of dumb when you pass 7 unannounced tests. And it's weird to me. There's a lot of things that don't add up into the UFC. It doesn't add up. And what's weird is that the UFC knows. They took his test on the 6th and the 7th. He passed both of those. There's nothing in the system. So for him to start doing steroids, especially the steroid that they're saying that he took, he would have had to been doing that steroid for a while for it to actually do anything for him. He just took it to take it. That just doesn't make any sense. And he's right again. The Turinabol is a type of steroid that you would need to help you as far as building down the stretch. This is something you need to already be on. It's not going to help you in 2 weeks. That's not gonna help you. Turn up that type of steroid helps you get the energy to keep going to work harder on your building your muscle up, and it helps it develop it faster. But it takes time and needs to be in your system for a while in order for it to get that kick in. So you're talking about a 7-8 week process for the results to really start paying off for you. Now, the B sample we probably won't have back for another month. And USADA said that USADA, what was their statement about their findings? Sorry about that. I got cold in my throat. Changing weather. Bear with me. Apologize for this. Given that Mr. Jones' agent has publicly commented on the case, we can confirm Mr. Jones provided a urine and blood sample on July the 6th and an additional urine sample on the 7th, all of which were reported negative. On July 28th, his urine sample tested positive for Turinabol. As confirmed previously, then after the fight, he provided a blood sample that was reported negative. The prohibited anabolic steroid Turinabol is only tested for in urine screenings and not in blood tests. Urine and blood screenings are complementary to each other and don't analyze for the same substances. Importantly, Mr. Jones is innocent unless and until the established process determines otherwise. It's only fair to let our due process occur before jumping to any conclusions. So this is saying that the process is not really done. So the due process is still going on. So right now, there's new developments. How did this happen? And I'm not saying that he didn't do it. He's thinking sabotage. I'm thinking, why? Because my motive is this. For the UFC, this doesn't really help them. They want Jon Jones to fight Brock Lesnar. That's what they want. So this doesn't help the UFC by having Jon Jones suspended. That's my only point that I can make. I can't say the UFC set him up to sabotage him when it doesn't do them any justice in having Jon Jones suspended when they really need him in the pay-per-view. They're hoping he gets off. They hoping this is a mistake and that they can find it because it doesn't make any sense around the board, especially if you're Jon Jones. It really doesn't make any sense. Because if you get busted, you're going for possibly up to 4 years this time with your previous records. So you're out of the sport for like 4 years. So those are the new developments right now, and we'll see what comes about. It's your boy Carcino. I'm out, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button, and I'm good.